going, JDM crew? John here with another inventory video for JDM EXPO, and this one's quite pretty. I think you guys are going to like this one. If you're not familiar with this sort of interior, welcome to the S15 Silvia, also known as a 200SX in Australia and a 240SX in the States, but this version never came out in the States. So the S13 and S14 did, but not the S15. But if you're here, you probably already know that, but this is for the new guys that are just entering in the fray. So yeah, good times, beautiful car. For the new guys, yeah, the platform is pretty similar between all of them. Similar wheelbase, similar engine options and all that, depending on which region of the world that you're in. But definitely a lot of people enjoy the SR20 in various flavors. Now, as you can see, it's definitely modified. We've got a Vertex horn here. We've got a Vertex body kit, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. GP Sports parts, a lot of really good aero. This thing looks nice. But here on the interior, yeah, we got a Momo steering wheel here. Nice grip, a little bit worn, but overall still feels good. Yeah, a lot of OEM stuff here because it is an Autec, which, so for the new guys, we've got the Spec S, we got the Spec R and Spec V, so we've got a couple of really good flavors. This one sits somewhere in between the Spec S and Spec R because it is NA, but we've got the SR20. But they have a couple of fixins in there which are really good for reliability, a little bit more power than the Spec S. Very nice response, by the way. And of course, we've got this 6-speed transmission. And while that's all well and good, pretty much if you wanted to turbo this thing, you really could. But it's not. But overall, yeah, we've got a lot of mods on this one. Like I mentioned earlier, the aero kit and everything, suspension mods, a whole bunch of good stuff that are both aftermarket and OEM, but this thing looks really awesome. So I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But as for the interior, though, I am sitting in a racing seat, so it's hugging pretty well, and I'm a fairly husky fellow, so if you're a little bit bigger than me, meaning if you're more than 5'9", with a wide frame, then yeah, it might be a little too snug for you, so you might want to upgrade the seat. But if you're a little bit smaller or thinner, not a husky boy like myself, well then this will be pretty comfortable. And for those of you guys familiar with the mid 90s and late 90s Nissans, they do have plenty of legroom, so it's not a problem for most people, at least in the front. If you're in the back, it's just like good luck. This rides really well, even with the more rougher suspension. You know, everything here is pretty firm. We've got nice wheels and tires on this as well. This is definitely designed more for grip or for show, so it depends if that's what you're looking for. Really, really nice overall. We do have a vented hood up in the front, so keeping the temperatures down. It's nice and frosty out there. We're just in the single digits. Well, actually, according to this is 8 in the sun, but which is in the 40s Fahrenheit, I believe, like close to 50. But that's in the sun, though. Like in the shade, it's still like in low 40s, upper 30s Fahrenheit. So it's like 5 or 6 Celsius. We do have a excuse me, we have a Carrozzeria audio system. No fancy Navi or anything like that. This is really just feels more like a car than than an entertainment center. So that's pretty good. Overall, like the rest of the interior is in pretty good shape. I don't think they drilled any holes here. I believe they just added this, which is on there with adhesive, because I don't see any other drill points here. Nothing on the pillars, so overall looking real nice. And been running the heater for a little bit since it's nice and chilly out there. You can probably see some of the snow in the distance if it's not too glaring. Yeah, we need to get a little bit more dynamic range on our camera. So as you can see, it goes through the RPMs real nice with that NA roar. Kind of wish we had individual throttle bodies so you can hear it a little bit more, but yeah, overall, very nice. So let's skip over to the exterior walk around, and I'll show you guys around also in the engine bay and everything. It looks really nice. You guys are gonna like this. So let's go. All right, and here we are looking through the interior here. As you can see, OEM seats on the passenger side and rear. So they do have all the panels still intact. Little side pocket storage there if you guys want to throw your drinks or something in there. No sag in the headliner. I'll give it another view when I step out. And we do have bride carpeting both on the passenger and driver's side. And have this all intact dash, so no holes drilled or anything. I would have to double check in here. They may have drilled a hole underneath here, but as you can see, it's intact. So. And I'll turn that on for you guys to see as well. So we have oil pressure, temperature, and water temperature. And of course it's complaining because it's not actually on, just the accessories. And we also have the mileage there. 171,000 kilometers on the clock. Stop that beeping there. And we have the Carros area audio system right there. And climate control. Sparco shift knob. And a drift button there, so whenever you actually press the button in, you can actually use the handbrake as you would for drifting, but then you can pull that little button out and you can actually lock it into place when you're parking. And I'll step out of here for a second so you guys can see what else is going on here. Momo steering wheel with Vertex button. A lot of Vertex parts on this, which you'll see in a moment. Bride, carpet and seat, and pads on there, so very nice. Silvia trim. And of course the other panels there. So they mentioned about the headliner there, no sag or anything like that, so it looks pretty good. And I'll give you guys a tour real quick of the exterior before I dive into the engine bay. As you can see, we do have a full kit on there with exhaust and everything. Sounds real good. Carbon fiber wing. So as you can see, quite an aggressive kit, definitely wider than stock. As you can see, quite flush with the wheels there and the body lines, so very nice overall. As you can see, the wheels and tires here being real flush there, very deep. So very wide. Offset is pretty crazy here. They do have spacers on it. I'm not exactly a fan of spacers, but they're on there real good. All customized parts on there. So now the brakes are stock. So as you got good old disc brakes all around, so it's still got the safety on there. It's not really crazy on the horsepower, so I mean, you get around 200-ish, just a little shy of that. So all NA, so very nice and responsive. So let's hop into the engine bay and I'll show you a little bit what we got going on here. Alright, so here we got the engine bay, and as you can see, we got the original color on here. So the blue is aftermarket, part of the kit that they got going on here. And the vents are only partially functional. You can actually remove those panels. They do have a couple of holes drilled in there so the water will drain down. But since we're not boosting, we're not generating too much heat, As you can see though, we've got some nice parts on there. We do have the 4-to-1 exhaust headers there, so nice and smooth. And of course we have the standard intake plenum there with the single throttle body instead of the individual ones, and the stock airbox. So that's why you can't really hear it all that much. You could modify that later on. We do have the front strut bar, and of course you can see the tops of the coilovers. We don't have a rear strut bar, but we do have a rear brace, so it keeps the chassis stiffened up. As you can see, here's some numbers there for those of you guys wanting some additional information. You can look those up. We do have HIDs on here and everything, so very nice. And of course a little voltage controller there to make sure that the battery stays in good condition. And of course OEM radiator and OEM like piping and everything there. So a lot of stuff that's quite stock, but still looks pretty good. And of course for the hood pins, these are actually labeled top secret, but they painted them over to match up, so got that. Still looks pretty good. Not sure if you can even see that because I can't focus on it due to the reflections. You can kind of see it there. We can hop into the trunk area so you guys can see what's going on there. And as you can see, the white from the original color. And we have some carpeting here. There's the brace, and you can see there. And right under here, we've got the spare tire. So pretty much we got all the original stuff on here and a few extras. So that's all well and good. A little bit of storage space there. A little bit above the fuel tank. And of course we have the jack and tools on the sides here. So, and you have a look at this carbon fiber wing and the mounts there. I mean, it looks really good. I do like the lower profile wing here. It actually just flows really nicely with the kit, and the LED lights here. But you can see that just flows really nicely with the rest of the kit. Well, there you guys go, another fine S15 going through the JDM EXPO inventory. And if you have any questions about this, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that we got 265s on there all around, so they are pretty wide, and that's all four wheels and tires. So genuine Volks forged here in Japan, so very nice. So definitely quite grippy. maybe not when it's like this cold. Got to warm them up a little bit, but overall just a really nice grip car. Also, just if you want it just for show, but it is an Autech, so it's definitely got some tuning, you know, and a little bit in between the Spec S and Spec R, as I mentioned earlier. So definitely really nice all around. If you wanted to keep it that way, or if you wanted it upgraded, just let our sales team know. info@jdm-expo.com. You can definitely send them a line, or hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. All DMs go to them, and they'll be able to get back to you within about 24 hours, even during the holidays. They are checking their messages from time to time. You know, everyone's here for the Christmas and New Year's holidays here in Japan, and well, they'll be able to get back to you. And with things slowing down for the holidays, they'll be picking back up shortly. Also, we got Chinese New Year next month, so definitely a lot of stuff in between these holidays that affect shipping. So that, and with the shortages worldwide and a lot of the shipping issues, just the logistics stuff, they can answer your questions there and let you know if there's any slowdowns in your part of the world and if there might be any delays. So it's all mixed everywhere. So you know, it's hit or miss on any of the delays that might affect wherever you are. So keep that in mind, and keep the JDM dreams alive. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world, whatever holidays you're celebrating. Hope you and yours are doing well, and I'll see you